Experiment. Explore. Enjoy.
So hello, Nicolas.
Hi, nice to see you.
We're here at SoundForce,
Correct.
and you're going to talk us through your new sampler module, right?
Yes.
Or like sample playback.
Yes, so this is Samples 2, the return or the revenge of samples. It's a follow-up on the original samples module, which were 6 channel of fixed sounds playback. And it's back now with a USB connector for a memory stick. You have 5 channels of playback at 16 bits, 44.1 kilohertz.
In stereo.
It can be mono, so there's 5 channels. There's many different options. You can have 5 channel of mono. You can have 1 stereo pair and 3 mono. You can have 2 stereo pair and 1 mono. It's 16 bits, 44.1 kilohertz, but you don't have to worry about that. Especially for short sounds, you can put them on the stick. The module will bit rate convert and sample rate convert. You can play back really long files because you have the USB memory stick. It's streaming directly from the stick, but you still have excellent latency at only 0.15 milliseconds. So it's excellent for drums, but you can play back long field recordings. There are different ways to start a playback. You can have a drum type of playback, so you trigger, it rewinds, it plays until the end. You can have a start and a pause, a type of playback, especially good for field recordings. You can have, for example, 20 different sounds on one channel and randomly pick another one at every trigger.
So how do you define all of that? Because obviously on the device, we've just got like one button and then the inputs and the outputs.
So it's terribly minimalistic because I want it to be 4 HP. Because I realize people really enjoy having a lot of playback on a very small form factor. So there's one switch. You can keep it really simple. Just use 5 files on your USB stick and just plug it in, and have different sticks as cartridges. But of course, you can make different folders on the stick, and in each folder you can have also 5 files. And the module will alphabetically assign the files to each channel. And if you want to change the folders, you click on the switch, alphabetically scanning through the switch. And this is what I'm going to do. Let's start the playback, and I can show you how fast it is to actually access different sound sets. So this is just the drums. If I press the switch, I'll go to the next sample set. And this one is something nice actually, is that the 4th note is a shaker with the multi-sample function. So you can see it's another shaker sound at every press of the... So you can have something a bit more realistic and a bit less robotic. Now if I change... And it's almost instant to go from one folder to the other, depending on the complexity. So if you have a multi-sample channel with like 50 different files, the module need to check all the files present. It can take a little while to do that. There's also possibility to change the playback speed of one channel using the trigger input of the next one. There's a very handy mix out. So channel number 5 is actually summing the channels 1 to 4 that are not patched. So you don't need a mixer. You don't need 5 channels of mixer if you want to get the audio out. And there's a little system with that one switch also to change the levels between each channel. So you don't need to go back to your computer, make everything mix ready, rebounce again. I want to avoid that type of handling as much as possible. I can talk about this for a long time. If you're interested to know more, there's a 30-minute DiffKit demo about this module on YouTube. It goes in details. There's a long manual as well, where you can... and the manual apparently is very good because I had friends coming with the USB stick prepared at home and they didn't have the module yet. They plugged it in and they were happy/surprised it just worked, which it does.
Brilliant.
So that's for samples 2.
So it's available now, right?
It's available now since about 10 days. In the UK, there is stock at Signal Sounds. In the US, Perfect Circuit. Schneider in Europe also do direct sales for the entire world, but obviously local dealers are preferred.
And price?
The price is 200 euros including tax, and it translates to 200 pounds and $200 as well.
Brilliant. Okay, great. And we were going to just have a quick look at the
Yes.
at the MIDI controller.
SFC-OB,
yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So what's kind of new there?
So since December last year, I have the new SFC-OB Oberheim MIDI controller, which is for a different selection of Oberheim plugins that are supported, and there are different plugin modes that you can save into the controller to tell the controller this is the plugin you want to use. And the characteristic of the Arturia plugin is that they have an XML system where I can describe the controller I'm using, and I can also describe the data I want to get from the plugin into the controller. So when you change the preset in the Arturia plugin, the controller in the firmware, I'm ingesting that data, updating all the switches, and implementing a pickup smoothing mode to avoid jumping values. So you can have 4 tracks or 10 tracks with your Oberheim plugins, your the OPX. And when you switch the track, the controller also goes with it. So you have a remote for as many plugins as your computer can take, basically.
Brilliant.
And that's now ported also to all the controllers that support Arturia plugins. Have this, what I call two-way communication. And that works really well to go from one track to the other, or presets. You can change presets from the controller to have a more smooth and integrated workflow.
Excellent. Well, Nicolas, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thanks for coming by.
See you next time. Cheers.
Yes. Bye-bye.